Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. Hi. I go by Lune and INNATE. Sorry for the weirdness right off the bat, but we're in Pisces season. And this is your Pisces season video. This is our Zodiac inspired Pisces season video. Today's the very last day of Aquarius season, and we're moving into Pisces tomorrow on February 19th, and it will be the sun will be in Pisces until March 20th. So of course, this is not a for Pisces only video. However, happy birthday, Pisces. Hope that you get all the naps and all the journals and all the time to doodle and craft and process and rest. And, if you're into a night out or a night in, whatever your thing is, I hope that you get whatever it is you are specifically looking for your birthday or what you would appreciate most. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So from my perspective, I feel like we are at the end of the year finally. And of course, I don't mean the digital year, right? Or the calendar year, but the end of this zodiac year. Once we get into Aries season, we start again. Pisces is, of course, in what's most associated with the 12th house. And as the sun is in the sign of Pisces and the sun's rays are coming down on all of us, on our crops, on our cars, on our homes, on our lawns, on our faces, we are in the energy of Pisces, right? So that's why we're making these collective videos. In this video, of course, we're going to cover some just basic information, elemental information on Pisces in general, so that we can just remember to connect and not fight the current too much, especially in this season. It's a mutable season. It's time to really go with the flow and, if I can say, cover over everything that we've done, all the growth that we've experienced through this past zodiac wheel. Because Pisces is at the end of this wheel, this zodiac year, we could say it really does have a lot to do with death and the process of rebirth. Essentially, throughout this year, through Aries, Taurus, Gemini seasons, all the way through Aquarius until now, we've been going through it. We've been going through something. We've been on our own personal journeys, having these experiences and influenced, or even just marking as if it was a calendar through these themes, through these seasons. And you can perhaps reflect on where you were in Pisces season last year and what transformation kind of ended up taking place for you around this time. It's not always so cut and dry necessarily, but we can see, the growth, what we've let go of, what we've taken in, what we've taken on, what we've developed throughout the year. And this is a point where it seems to be, of course, Pisces being a very sensitive energy, a very mystic energy, a very kind of how do I say this? Relaxed, I don't mean to say that Piscean energy can't be uptight. It certainly could, but relaxed as in going with the flow. Relaxed as in, let me prioritize a nap, relaxed as in there's got to be an easier way to get this done that is a bit more trusting, a bit more hands-off, and kind of letting the pieces fall where they may. The new moon for Pisces, or the new moon in Pisces, will be just this, for me, this Sunday on February 23rd, and the full moon in Virgo, the opposite sign of Pisces, will be on March 9th. Of course, do double check me depending on where you are in the world. My time could be different than yours, but more or less that's about the time of those events. The Pisces new moon this Sunday is a great time for planting seeds associated with Piscean traits. Piscean traits being the mystic, the compassionate, the sensitive, the artful, the relaxed, the trusting. Those elements are certainly beautiful to bring in, and something to watch for in this season to make sure that we're not leaning too far into this current so that the current is actually pushing us down, we could say, or lowering our potential for ease and navigation, would be in the realm of taking it to laziness. I hate that word, and I'm sorry that I always use it for for this sign essentially, but on the downward side of the coin, or the other side of the coin, or however we want to say it, the downward path, there can be like a laziness, a procrastination, and overwhelm. So if Piscean energy is quite empathetic, there's a beauty and strength in that, no doubt, but empathetic energy can also be taken, it can be experienced in such a way that it keeps us from doing things, and it keeps us from experiencing, because we're so influenced by the energies, or we are feeling so sensitive. So that can come up. And another thing that I see very often with Piscean energy is like delusion, as well as lying. This is not a good time to ride the currents, or it's never a good time to ride the current of the downward side or the lower path of each sign. And, you know, I don't want to say manipulation. It's not quite manipulation, but lying can certainly be a thing. Delusion, lying to yourself, making up stories. I'm certainly not accusing any of you of that, but it's just something that you want to watch for. What voice is in your head? You know, whose voice is that? And what are you letting kind of like take the front lead? It's really important to check in and have some kind of touchstone for yourself if you feel that that's even remotely possible for you to experience. You know, some of us are just more susceptible to those kind of thought patterns and getting caught in that current of it leans into fantasy, you know, it leads into this like this story, this a bit drama, if I can say, you know, not super dramatic, but certainly some kind of drama happening that could definitely play into Pisces energy and what we'll experience. Another issue that can come up on the lower path might be a need for numbing. You know, some of us might feel like we want to get on some kind of medication, and of course that is okay. Talk to your doctor. You know, don't let what I'm saying here affect that if that is a need of yours. What I'm trying to share though is there can be a numbing effect. Essentially, we can be so sensitive that we don't want to experience it anymore. We're done. We're coming from Aquarius season, which is like, I don't want to feel, although this Aquarius season certainly wasn't that for me. As much as I didn't want to feel, I don't think I've cried so much like in my life. Like, I don't even know, maybe when my mom passed, but like I feel like I cried and purged a lot this Aquarius season, leaning into Pisces season, you know, so I'm kind of nervous. Like, I don't know if I'm done yet. And you might not be done yet either if you're in the same boat, or if we're sharing a similar, you know, current here or whatever. But essentially, it is a very sensitive time period. It certainly can be. And we want to just make sure that we're not numbing that or letting ourselves feel it. Do what you need to do by all means. You know, I self-medicate a little bit from time to time myself, for sure, at the end of the night when I'm trying to go to bed and my mind is racing. Absolutely. But just to be mindful, just to have the awareness so it doesn't become a crutch or instill some kind of dominating habit that is harder to let go of. Just tread carefully, you know, along that path, and do allow yourself to feel, essentially. I kind of touched on, you know, the fact that I had a lot of feelings, this Aquarius season, and personally, I believe that that might have been tied to the fact that Mercury retrograde has officially started. I believe it started on the 16th, yes, February 16th, and it goes direct on March 9th. However, there still will be a little bit of a shadow period towards the end of that, but we can say, for the most part, February 16th to March 9th is the time of Mercury retrograde, and that will be taking place primarily in Pisces, although it will swing back into Aquarius for some time. I will look it up for you and put it here if I can find the information. I'm not an astrologer, but I do find this information helpful, you know, just to know like what's going on. So in terms of Mercury retrograde, I say the same thing every time. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but retrogrades are a time for us to be able to go back over stuff. And it doesn't mean reform stuff. It doesn't mean let me go call my ex. Let me go get back together with that person. Let me go back to that job that I hated. It's not that, although we might be tempted, or those exes or those opportunities might try to find us. So we should be on the lookout for that and be on the lookout for our own impulses. A lot of dreams of exes, you know, bullshit like that could come up. Don't read into it too much. It's just part of the process. It's okay. you know yourself best, of course, but I wouldn't read into it too much. I get a lot of X's dreams during the time of Mercury retrograde, and just is what it is. But essentially, going back over paperwork, going back over the plan, reforming, the schedule, going over things again, but not going back to the old ways. I think that really has to be made clear in this time. And what I've experienced so far has been, I'm a type of person that gets hit earlier than later. And I was feeling such an incredible purge, like I said, like tears and just, trying to go about my day, and then something would happen and I'd just be like, oh, like moon face, tears, eyebrows up, like, ooh, like crying, ooh. And then like it would pass and I would be okay. I feel like this is a element of shadow work for me, because personally I deem, and I don't want to think this, but I know that I think this, that emotions can be weak, or I deem, again, I'm not saying this is what I actually want to think logically, or that I do think logically, but I know that this is part of my personal shadow work experience, just to share, just so you can reflect on what you might be kind of putting in your shadow box or your shadow self. But weakness, or nastiness. I had a really intense experience a couple weekends ago, right when the shadow period started, and so much anger and like rage, not rage, but like anger, and like I had to like basically go scream at the ocean, not literally, but that's what it felt like, and like kick some energy out of my house and be like, get out of here. And I'm not talking about my ex or anything like that, so we're good, I'm not kicking anybody out. He can come over anytime if he wants to. But in general, sorry, too much TMI, but essentially, like, I had to really stand up for myself. And to stand up for myself, what happened was this kind of like Hulk Jersey girl version of me had to come out and like get some bad energy out of my house, get some toxicity out of here. So again, emotions, weakness, I don't want to be bothered by this, and anger, ooh, that's ugly, who is that? I don't know who that is. Those are things that I've put in my shadow that I have to allow to be expressed. Like, they have to come out. They're not bad. I've deemed them bad in some twisted way because they're weaknesses, or because they're ugly, or because society tells us not to do something or be a certain way. But listen, like, girl in Aries moon, like, Hulk is in there. I'm from Jersey. That's just a part of me. And if I need to pull that out because it serves me and it helps me to stand up for myself, then here she is, right? Like that kind of thing. So I hope that you can reflect on your shadow and your purging experiences, if you are one to experience them during this time, because it will be certainly something that you can perhaps reflect on in a way that shows you the strength, or shows you the need. You need to purge your emotions. You need to cry. You're not a baby. You're not weak. You're not bothering people, by being an emotional person, or your anger doesn't make you evil, right? Or anything like that. It shows you how strong you are when you need to be. And I'm sorry that those are the only two that I can come up with, but they're the most authentic ones for me right now. Some stones that I would recommend for this time period. I know that I have them and I haven't been able to find all of them, but I do want to mention green opal, or opal in general. I know opal is not traditionally a stone for Pisces, but I connect it with this energy because of its incredibly watery element to it. So Pisces, and it's watery, it's a water sign in general, but that sensitive, emotional nature, I really love opal for that. I think that that's just, they go so wonderful together. Labradorite would be another one, particularly ones with blues and greens and purples, not that gold and orangey ones wouldn't be fine and absolutely perfect to work with as well, but I would probably lean a little into those colors if I had the option. Chalcedony would be another wonderful stone to work with during this time. Again, it's like all of these are fairly soft, supportive, mystic, feminine in their dynamic from my perspective anyway. And the last one that I would say would be brachiated jasper, because it is so helpful for me personally through my experiences for dream recall. And I'm sorry if I'm wheezing and I'm breathing a little funny. My asthma's been acting up a bit and I don't want to overdo my inhaler. So anyway, brachiated jasper for dream recall would be wonderful. this is a time of dreams. Piscean energy is dreamy, you know, it is just a very sleepy, dreamy, like I have to go to work now. Like the work is in the dreams for us. So especially considering, like we talked about, this energy of death and rebirth, and the dream space is such a perfect time to access or allow, even if we're not waking up and remembering everything, but allow this process between the waking world and the dream world to allow a simulation or processing of what we've experienced, to kind of wrap things up, so to speak, or compartmentalize or release. So please remember, you know, if you're open to it, to set intentions for yourself as you go to sleep, to allow things to be cleared up, like you're doing your taxes, like you're reconciling, like you're allowing all of that to happen within your you know, etheric or subtle fields or subconscious fields. Ooh, hello, air conditioner. Or subconscious fields as you're sleeping, you know. Keeping a dream journal, highly effective at supporting you, and will help you to just, like, you know, write down the stuff that you experience. A lot of the times during Mercury retrograde, I don't want to say we shouldn't put thought to our dreams, right? I'm like, oh, don't worry about your ex dreams, but like, don't worry about that. That's totally normal. It's a thing. They could be thinking of you. You could be thinking of them. It could just be this kind of chord, and you're just like a little bit going back and forth on. It should be fine. It shouldn't be a big deal, you know, in general. But essentially, regardless of that, dreams are telling you something. You know, dreams are giving you some information, or they're giving you a glimpse of what's happening below the surface, or they're giving you a premonition of some kind, or guidance, or, you know, just that kind of stuff in general. So take notice, you know, and act on your dreams when you can. If there was some kind of guidance, if there was some kind of thing, or I don't know, it's hard to say, right? All our dreams are so different. If someone pops in your head during Mercury retrograde, should you give them a call? It's up to you. It depends on the relationship, but that's an example, you know. I probably wouldn't. But you do you, you know, you do you. We're not all the same. I'm a Cancer, so like when I'm done, I'm done. But if it was a friend I hadn't seen in a while, or if it was a family member, if it was my grandmother or something like that, then I would absolutely give them a call. You know, I'll mess with exes, you know, I don't mess with that. It's worth mentioning that Pisces is ruled by Neptune, which is a very mystic planet in general. It originally was ruled by Jupiter. However, when Neptune was discovered, everyone said, listen, Neptune is the freaking one. They began to associate Neptune with Pisces, essentially, after Neptune was discovered. Tell me Mercury retrograde isn't real. I've been like a mumble mouth since this past weekend. So tell me it's not real. I'll wait. All right, so I'm just gonna scoot my camera around and put my tarot cards over here so I can show them to you. So just bear with me a sec, and we'll move over to the tarot aspect. All right, well, here we are. Forgive the messy desk a little bit, or the clutter. It's not really messy, just a bit cluttered. I'm just setting an intention to ask our guides, our higher selves, our subconscious minds, the ability to perceive, to interpret this reading. Thank you, air conditioner, for stopping. I appreciate that. So that we can get a more intuitive approach to our month, to this season, from February 19th to March 20th. All right, so I'm just gonna do that, and we'll lay them out this way. So I'm gonna do 3 and go across. I'm gonna lay out my layout a little bit different today. So we're gonna tell 3 stories. Excuse me. they're going to go this way. This is a story. This is a story. This is a story. All right. Just fix this a little bit because it drives me nuts. Okay, so let's open the first pages here. Our first card is Strength Reversed. So we may have, I'm sorry that I'm going right into this, but this is for me that shadow coming up. What is your strength? What is a strength that you've experienced in yourself that you've deemed a weakness, or that you've deemed ugly, or that you've deemed too rough, or too weak, or too empathic, or whatever it is? There's a strength in yourself that you're not quite giving the power to. You're not quite supporting or feeling connected with. So that's our first story. So whomever that resonates with, all of the stories might resonate with you, but I just like to kind of break them down this way. All right, then we have the Hanged Man reverse. Some of us have been really forcing ourselves to be grounded, really forcing ourselves to touch down and get some work done or make some changes. And it's almost been going against what we feel like we need. Like you might be like, yes, I need rest. Yes, I need to stop this. Yes, I need to reorganize my schedule. Yes, I need to tell them I need to cut back my hours. Yes, I need to ask for help, whatever it is. But you've been pushing through. You've been pushing through so far. You've been fighting the current and you've been doing it. And you look good doing it too. You look cute. You're looking good. You're making it look easy, but we know it's painful. We know it's pressure. We know it's not necessarily in the long term something sustainable. All right. And then we have the Five of Swords. It might be time to walk away from some ideas. It might be time to let go of some of the things we've been carrying or some of the things we've been wrestling with, things we wanted to experience, but it's been a wrestle. It's been resistance. All right, so again, here's our storylines. We're going horizontally today. Sorry that these are messy for those of you who are like OCD like me. All right, so back to our strength that we've suppressed, or we're judging our strength right now. The card here is the Knight of Swords. This asks for movement. This asks for like really diving in, kind of rescuing yourself almost from this. If you can see, he's like facing this, like, girl, you're upside down. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Turn yourself around. Go gentle with your power. But there seems like there's an energy coming in to remind you. So this could be a situation. This could be a person. This could be an idea, but it's something that's going to push you, touch you, tap you on the shoulder, or show up right and get in your face, whatever it is, that's going to tell us we need that, whatever's been suppressed. We got somewhere to go now. We've got something to do. Pardon me, I'm just going to scoot this. So there's something coming, to like a wake-up call a little bit, to pull that strength back out, or pull what's been suppressed as some kind of strength. And your strength might be your relaxation. Your strength might be your detachment. It doesn't necessarily have to be this, like what we would consider this like powerhouse thing, but it is something that's been suppressed and not given the credit, not given the credit, I'll just say. All right, so back to our hangman, our forcing ourselves through the situation. And what will that lead to? we're still not going to feel like we got it all done. You've been doing it, you've been trying, you've been pulling yourself out of the spaces that you need to be in terms of relaxation, or let me trust, let me go, let me delegate. No, I have to do it, I have to do it, I have to show up, I have to show up, I have to show up, and I have to look good. We're still not going to get it all done. Or we're going to feel that way anyway. Let me say it this way. We're not going to feel like we got it all done. We're going to be focused on what was not. That's going to be our first, where our attention goes first. What was not completed? What did not work out? What was I unable to accomplish? Or what just, naturally was unable to accomplish? But look, allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to acknowledge, but you still have some cups, you still have a bridge, you still have your house, you still have all the stuff you need. So validate, but don't dwell. All right, don't let that eat you up. All right, and now back to our story down here. Walking away, jumbled up, taking on too much, wrestling with our own ideas, our own things that we want to do. And here we have the Hierophant. There's been a traditional element here. There's been a way of trying to do it perhaps like you had before. And we'll see how the story plays out, because part of me wants to say, all right, so let's get back to basics. Let's retrace our steps a little. Let's look up the how-to, the alchemy for dummies or whatever it is. But part of me says maybe this is going to reveal that there is a need to not connect so much with the tradition. But either way, tradition is going to come into the connection here. I'm wrestling with my own idea. I'm wrestling with getting this done. I'm fighting myself. I'm leaving stuff behind. I'm dropping things. It's very similar, How can we get into our power? Because remember, we're guiding people too. We're being guided, but we're guiding. It's just that kind of deal here. The keys are speaking to me. There's like 2 keys crossed at the bottom. There's some kind of rite of passage almost of tradition here, but let's see how the story unfolds. So back up here, Ace of Wands. So not acknowledging, not giving credit to our own strengths. Maybe it's shadow. Maybe we put it in the shadow. No, that's bad. It's bad to feel. Oh, it's bad to have that power. Oh, it's bad to be able to be so masculine or be able to be so feminine when I need to be, or whatever it is. And there's a wake-up call coming. And that wake-up call is going to really show you this, this thing you want to create, this life, this journey. It's going to really make you feel empowered. Big time. Big time. There's a big wand energy right here. All right? Big wand energy coming through. You're going to feel puffed up like a pigeon. Sorry. But you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel how strong you are, and I love that. And it's okay. All right. So we've been pushing through. We're gonna be drawn to what we didn't get to fulfill. And the Queen of Pentacles reversed. It might make us, if we attach to this feeling of unfulfillment, if you can see these cups here, I don't know how reflective this is, these cups that are spilled, it's like, oh, my cups, damn, my juice is all over the place. But you have other ones here. But if you're focused on what you don't have, then you're about to slip into lack mentality. If you're focused on that, it's going to make your money feel weird. It's going to make your ability to make money feel weird and to really spread your money around and feel weird, So be mindful, because it can carry over. You can get burnout. You can focus on what you still weren't able to do. They said it, right? Focus on what you still weren't able to accomplish or fulfill, and that might mess with your money. So be careful. You don't have to. Focus on what you do have. Focus on the bridge. Focus on the experience. Focus on like whatever it is, but don't let it mess with your money or your stability. All right, I'm going down again. We've been wrestling and tradition is coming into our minds. What is this? How did my parents do it this day? Why do they have a house and I don't own my own house? Why did my parents have a house when they were 20 years old and all this stuff and I don't? Or maybe there's like some kind of comparison, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. Or maybe people who you might feel you've been wrestling with this because there's been someone on your back. When I was your age, when I did this is how your kids got to do, like someone telling you what to do and the way to do it. But let's see if it's good or bad from them. Page of Swords. It's time to start your own. So here we go, right? Here's the problem. Our own, it's too many things. It's unnecessary. Why do we need all these swords? What's going on? Tradition kind of comes in. It might be helpful. It might not be. Use discernment. We are in a new age. We're in a new paradigm. But that's not to say that there aren't like qualities of tradition that are beneficial. This has a bit of a, when I say tradition, that sounds like it could be like baking cookies on Christmas Eve. And that's not really what I'm talking about here. This is more of like a systematic kind of form of tradition. There's a bit of like hierarchy here that I don't personally love, but the Hierophant can be just like popey, like God, like uplifting, like getting back to basics too. So use that energy to the best of your ability, whatever that getting back to basics is, but don't let someone from an old time tell you how to run your life necessarily too, right? Like there's a give and take there. Use discernment. And what comes in? The Page of Swords. Let's do this again. Let's start over. Let's clear, right? Let's clear all that. It's unnecessary and it's making things more complicated. Let's get a little bit back to basics, or let's read a certain book, or let's watch one of our favorite movies, or something that kind of puts us in the place, or practice. Like go back to a traditional, simple practice of meditation, of journaling, of your spiritual connection, and reconnect from that place, and then approach this with this like fresh wave, fresh approach to start something new in a more comfortable way, in a way that isn't burdened down, isn't carrying too much, isn't causing conflict. It's light, it's almost playful, but it's excited and eager, and the start of a new way of doing that. These cards are very spinny, right? All right, so back to our strength that we've got our, sorry that I do it this way. I gotta figure out a better way to do this. This is how I do it for myself. Because I like to like process it all one by one and then like keep going back. But if you don't like this, tell me. I'll try to do it a different way. But we're gonna feel very, very empowered after something either pushes our button or wakes us up that helps us connect with our inner strength, and perhaps even things that we've deemed as shadow or deemed as weak. And then we have the King of Swords in reverse. So while you've got that big wand energy you're swinging around there, buddy, don't let it get hypercritical. Don't let it get into your head where you think you're better than people. Don't let it put yourself on a pedestal. Be understated. Be subtle. Be a little incognito. Not because you need to hide. Not because of that. But because there's no reason. This might not feel comfortable to you, sitting on this throne, dictating, waving your sword around, having to make these calls. Maybe it's too much pressure. Maybe if people see how big your wand energy is, they're going to start coming to you for stuff that you don't really want them to, So just don't let it get to your head. Don't let it make you feel uncomfortable or out of place, or like now you have to take on more because you found this inner strength. It's okay. Just let it be what it is and create from that place. Don't take it into like now I have to rule the world necessarily. Just rule your own world. We love you for that. All right, so now we're back to our story. Ooh, we're getting it done, but we can't get everything done, so there's always going to be a little here. Don't focus on this. It can mess with our money. It can mess with our stability and how comfortable we are. And the Eight of Pentacles reversed. So this is about busy work. This is about craftsmanship. This is about taking your time and perfecting your craft and banging it out. So in reverse, maybe there is going to be a new way to do something. Maybe it's not back to the drawing board, or let me go back and do that again. Stop, all right? Look at you. Like, you're supposed to be here. Just zoning out, just zen. It's like, no, I gotta get back to work. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I really want to take a sabbatical. Real talk. I really want to take a sabbatical, but we have to. Let me just keep coming back. Let me do this. I have to do this. Blah blah blah. Right? All that stuff. The money. It's not. I'm so sorry for the horns. It's not busy work time. It's not keep banging it out. I want to get a clarity card here. Yeah, it's not about carrying everything. Oh my God, do you see these? Okay, so we have 9 of, I think it's 9? No, I'm sorry, 10. 10 of Wands, right? It's too much stuff. And then we got the freaking, 5 of Wands. This like struggle, you go here, I'll go here, you go here. It's about like, drop it, let it go. It's okay. Take the break, take the vacation, call in sick, call it in, you know, give yourself some time. Perfect for Pisces energy, right? Okay, and here we are over here. You know what? I want to pull a clarity card over here too. Knight of Pentacles reversed. Don't weigh yourself down. Don't take on too much. It's the same thing. Don't take on too much just because you tapped into that. Okay? You don't need to. Alright, so let's go back to our little story here. We've been wrestling, too many things on our plate, too many things on our mind, too many things bouncing around in our head. It's almost like opposing, you know, internally, even though they're on the same team. It's like imposing. There's some kind of like traditional check-in or back to basics check-in, or even just reading a few pages or a chapter in a book that you know you can always go to like bring you back to alignment, and really taking this new journey or this new approach to the journey, this more relaxed, lighter, clearer, one sword, one idea, one consolidated approach, we could say. And then we have the 9 of Swords reversed. All right. So, a lot of swords in this one, right? This is about remembering not to blind yourself, not to, well, maybe if I pick up one more. You know, one more sword won't hurt. Before you know it, you're fucking back here. You know? I started here. Well, this is too much. That guy will get it. Let me get out of here. I got this too much. Let me go check in. Let me go get counseled. Maybe some counselor. Maybe therapy. Maybe, again, a book or a spiritual advisor even could come up. Truly, like that could totally be what that is. You feel fresh. I'm ready to do it. Let me pick up another sword though, like, because, you know, maybe get another idea. You know, I've got these other nope, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. This is a month of finding simplicity, releasing some complications. It's about giving yourself the freaking credit, man. You showed up, you know, you showed up sick, you showed up when you maybe mentally weren't there, you pushed through, or you're pushing through, and you're just going back to, oh, but I still have to do that. Oh, but that didn't work out. Oh, but that wasn't as good as it should have been. It should have been better, but I wasn't. stop, you know, because all of that is just going to mess with your physical reality, your money, your comfort, your savings, you know. You're doing what you can. And these are all about like stop, rest, stop going, call in sick, take a day, take a vacation, whatever you need to do, but like give yourself some time if you're following that story and if it resonates. And our other story here is that we've sacrificed some kind of our strength. Not sacrifice, I'm sorry. Sacrifice isn't the word. We pushed it away. We told it was bad and to go in the corner and that nobody likes when it talks like that. And that's no way to treat any aspects of ourselves, not like that. There's going to be a trigger. There's going to be a memory, a pat on the back, a tap on the shoulder, a thing that comes in that's going to feel, I don't want to say it's going to feel like an attack, forgive me for saying so, but it's going to help you remember why you need those things within you, why you need that. And then you're going to come out swinging, ready to make changes, ready to create, ready to show what you're capable of, what your ideas are. Sorry, it's hard to see if you're in focus. And this guidance here with both of these is don't let it make you take on too much. Don't let it make you feel like now you got to do all this extra stuff. It's okay. Just let it be what it is. All right. So I hope that this resonated. And we're going to just move the camera around a little bit and we'll move to our ASMR style by proxy energy work session for you. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Excuse me. Welcome back. I'm going to start with a mist first. That's a little clearing. And then we're going to light our candle. But I just wanted to do this before we get going. This is the Fire Flower by Gila de la Agua. My girl, dragon's blood, rose oil, distilled water, grain-free alcohol. Contents have been blessed under the full moon. I got this at Witch Walk in Santa Ana, which is the third Saturday of every month. You should totally go if you haven't gone. My girl puts it on. It's great. Lots of awesome vendors and stuff. Right, so I want to spray specifically near the back. Oops, pardon me. So my microphone has been having some issues lately, and I don't know if it's the microphone or if it's some kind of weird current in this room. So if you see any weird cuts that don't make sense, it could be a buzzing. So I've got my mic stand on some plastic lids, like those Tupperware lids. Let's recenter. All right. sacred Trader Joe's candle, of course. This one is the cedar balsam. And today I have a candle, lighter. So let's light our candle here, set an intention. Oh yeah, this is the big flame one. Look at that big flame energy now. Alright, so on behalf of my and your and everyone else's highest and greatest good, and perfect comfort and alignment, our intention through this session, of course, is just simply alignment, simply balancing, catching your breath, coming into that space of comfort and ease and flow, right? But to be a little more specific for the theme, we want to work with our dreams. We want to work with the current, the more, the higher current, if I can use those words, of Pisces season, to tap into our mystic abilities, our empowered empathy, our empowered sensitivities, to utilize those as strengths, right? To go with the flow, to adapt, highly adaptable, to feel and experience the season and the strengths of the season. We want to also work with our inner strengths. We want to take a look at what these are. What have we repressed? What have we deemed as inappropriate? What have we cut from ourselves? What do we see as ugly or as too much? What is it? What have we deemed that way? What inner strength needs to be acknowledged and allowed to come forward, so that when we get that tap, we're able to utilize most effectively and grab that, grab that big wand energy, We want to remember not to take on too much this season. We want to let go of as much as we can, and I don't mean quit your job, and I don't mean don't do your work, and I don't mean don't do your taxes, but take the time. Don't do the busy work. Don't keep adding to your plate. Do what you can to scale back, to the best of your ability, if that resonates, of course, only, and streamline. Connect with some kind of guide or some traditional element, traditional practice for yourself to bring back your enjoyment of things and the simplicity of things and move from that space. We want to allow ourselves as well to focus on all that we still do have and all we were able to get done, and pat ourselves on the back for all that we've showed up for. But no, not focus on what doesn't feel right still, or what, seems spilled or seems messed up, or it didn't work out great, I kind of half-assed that, you did it. There was some mental health stuff maybe, there was some emotional stuff, there were some things below the surface, but you were showing up, or you have been. So let's give ourselves some credit there. Alright? Sorry for the long one. haven't been able to find my green opal. I will though. But that would be a suggestion. Another good one would be ocean jasper to support going with the flow. And it does have a very nurturing kind of energy. Supportive, a bit grounding, but not too much. I love this one for the knee area, but Pisces is ruled by the feet, so maybe even the feet and ankle area would be good for ocean jasper. So that's where I'm going to place it through this proxy, right between your feet. I also was really guided for this one. It is called chiastolite or cross stone. And I'm telling you this, I wasn't planning on choosing this, but it just like kept popping out at me. This one I find to be incredibly grounding, very supportive of the earth star chakra, so perhaps some of us might feel a little ungrounded or disconnected as we've moved from Aquarius to Pisces. So it would be a great one to help with that connection. I find this to be very helpful in times of conflict, in times of being pushed. It helps with patience and really tapping into your own inner strength. So maybe chiastolite would be a great one for those of you who are also going to experience that little nudge or tap on your shoulder, whatever it is, to really bring to the surface that which you may have repressed, or that which you may have, again, like deemed as not a strength, but it is. It just doesn't have to be out all the time. These are stunning. Like, they don't look like much, right? Like at a glance. But every mineral, when you look up close, you're going to find these just like, what? Jumping out at you. Baby, you beautiful. I'm going to put this between your feet as well for that grounding. I'm going to mispronounce this, but this is Charolite, something like that. I'll put the name here for you. And here I have the brachiated jasper. So brachiated jasper is essentially broken, like it's broke in the earth and formed these in between the breaks. There's been some kind of formation, most likely a chalcedony or quartz type stuff formed in there, but it could certainly be other minerals. And it's almost like how the dream breaks up as we wake up, right? It separates, now it's in pieces, now we're like trying to put it back together. So that brachiated jasper specifically is quite helpful for gluing it back, and remembering as much as we can. This one is a very mystic type, very spirit-based type, but also grounding, as you can see with the black. And this beautiful purple, it's stormy stone. Really beautiful. So these, I guess I'll just keep everything. I'll put this by the candle. little baggie of tiny little points. And it's just an example. You could get something like this if you buy crystals. Sometimes, we get these little like bonus ones. They might be kind of small sometimes, even broken sometimes, just like the sellers just giving us a little extra something. Or you might buy a whole bunch of these like in bulk. Or you could use pennies or herbs, or make your own little offering, or use dried flowers, or really anything, shells that you've collected, or anything at all. I just happen to use these mostly. But essentially, it would be a nice idea to collect 12, if you're able, little things, beans, seeds, and go for a walk or a drive, or go somewhere, or go into your backyard, or right on your stoop, or whatever you can. But go outside and make 12 offerings to represent your gratitude for the year ahead, the zodiac wheel, or the year that has passed. Alternatively, if you don't really like the idea of tossing out crystals, not that that's what it feels like, right? But you could get a candle big enough and make 12 offerings there, like 12 cloves stuck in, or 12 little gems, like tiny chips, or even markings, or 12 incense, or really anything at all that you can think of that you would consider an offering. 12 glasses of water over 12 days, 12 slices of orange, or truly, right, whatever you feel. But essentially just to represent that exchange, that appreciation, and the closure, the closure of the zodiac wheel as the wheel turns. And we're getting into Aries season next. So just wanted to share that with you. This is an herb. I want to say it's a sage, but I feel like I'm wrong and it's something that begins with an H. I'll have to clarify for you. But this was a gift from the Real Crystal Witch. So awesome. And I wanted to use this in ceremony with you and just kind of like tap around the body just to purify. I almost want to say the words desensitize, yet connect with sensitivity. So like just awaken the senses, awaken the sensitivities, but not in a sense where we're like hypercharging that sensitivity. It's like when you see the light, right? Like when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, is that Liza morning? Yeah, we're doing this again. Okay. And it's like you need to adjust, and then you do. So I just want to use this for that. Just focused, forming your head. Kind of around the etheric form. head. Down the back. Down the body. Front, just down the arms, into the palm, and down this arm, and into the palm. And we'll take one that fell, and we're going to use this as a little offering, okay? You have to remember to get like little tweezers. Just a little offering, purification. Are we still in focus? Okay, yes. I want to use this specifically for helping to form a path, a channel, a connection, a bridge between you and perhaps what you've suppressed or what you've labeled about yourself as, again, some kind of weakness or something you don't want or something you're embarrassed to admit or whatever that might be. So that we can reclaim it, we can rebrand it, we can retitle it, we can move it to a different shelf. It might be behind glass for some of us, a break in case of emergency. Or it might be something that needs to come out on a daily basis. Whatever it is for you as an individual, we just want to allow smoothness and ease and non-judgment, discernment, but non-judgment regarding what that is in you. We're all so multifaceted. Why do we ever try to control ourselves too much, you know? Who's a rebel? Who's a little rebel? Alright, so I'm going to focus this to the solar plexus because that's where I feel the ego, right, kind of connects, and I want to bridge between the heart and solar plexus specifically. So I'm just going to aim down for a moment and then I'll bring it up so you can see it a little better. Just focusing, kind of moving the energy around in the solar plexus, the space of our authenticity, of our actions, it's a bit expressive. It's our movement, how we carry ourselves, how we put our feet on the ground, what we allow to pull out through these expressions of self. We want to send some compassion here, specifically this gentle Piscean compassion, this understanding, this friendship almost with these aspects. I'm seeing cherries, which makes me think of someone specific, but that could be anyone. I'm seeing like a net, almost like a butterfly catching net. I guess it could kind of be any net or a pool scooper even, but my first thought was like bug catching net, butterfly net. I'm feeling the energy of like a tiger, but honestly it's like coming through as like Tony the tiger or whatever the Frosted Flakes guy is, and I have no idea why. I'm just gonna honor it. What was his mantra? They're great or something. Alright, now we're bridging up to the heart and even up to the higher heart. We're going to make a figure 8 from the heart, higher heart, solar plexus, heart, higher heart, heart, solar plexus. I'm going to go over the crown. Pull through this trust in yourself, this trust in you are who you're meant to be, and every skill, every tool, every resource, every ability, whether latent or highly active, is in you. And there are things within you that are so essential to your path. Maybe someone calls you cold and you think you have to be more warm and welcoming, but maybe that coldness is a strength at times. Maybe you make a joke out of everything and people say you don't take things seriously, so you try to be more serious. But isn't humor of the most healing, things that we can tap into? Maybe you just think you're weird and you're trying to be normal and you're trying to talk like other people, or I don't want to say fit in, but that kind of thing. But that's just not you, and we love your weirdness. Whatever it is. Whether it's your masculinity, your femininity, your combination. Just kind of pumping these back and forth, helping them jump, perforating this channel. And we're going to call through a stream. I'm seeing a person with a shaved head. It looks like they have gray hair, but very, very short. intuition says that the air conditioning might turn on soon. Just a warning, okay? Alright, just want you to imagine this giant, like, beautiful, overflowing glass, crystal, chalice, whatever you can picture, just pouring through you, over you. Cup runneth over, but through you, really stirring things around, moving, tons of energy movement here, splashing in and out. Like a wave just keeps coming, or a waterfall just not ending. It's pouring this beautiful fluidity through you. And it clears and supports and it moves. Very Fantasia, like whoosh, whoosh, like Mickey, you know? I don't really remember that, but very splashy. Now I'd like to work a little bit in the dream space, or connect, better way to say that, intentionally work with inviting or healing or moving or processing while we rest. And I think I'm going to make a video specifically sleep themed with this kind of topic for YouTube. So I don't mean to double it up, but just like it's such a big theme, right? Or maybe we'll move that to our long form session. But let's connect with an intention for your dreams. What do you want from your dreams? Healing, some type of like activation of sorts, particularly of the mystic or psychic centers. Simply to remember your dreams. I'm seeing like one of those, I believe they're Mexican, like rug or poncho pattern. Sorry if I'm messing it up, but just that kind of poncho pattern, not the like fuzzy ones that are usually white and brown, but like vibrant colors like black and teal and purple and red and like ruby or watermelon kind of colors. Seeing peacocks, like a peacock walking with its tail down. Perhaps if we're unaware of what this latent, potentially suppressed strength might be, we can ask our dreams to reveal or show us or allow us to like test the waters, you know, kind of like the Matrix when you got to like do the martial arts in the other world kind of thing. To like call it out. So I don't want to say that you're going to need it in your dream, but you might see an opportunity to express it or to let someone have it in your dream or say what you think, So let's connect with holding that in the dream world, allowing that strength, that power, that big wand to come swinging out. Oh my God, I hope you're not offended by my terms here. I hope you think it's funny like I do. Right, I'm just gonna go behind you to the zeal and the third eye. Just bridge these. A little back and forth. Kind of like the zeal back here in the third eye. Collecting some solar plexus energy, right up. This will, this assertion, this expression of self, a little with the throat as well, still with my hand on the zeal. I want to just allow that to come out more. Not really blocking, just allowing that expression more easily. Just because you're so strong, we don't have to take on too much. That's not what this is about, right? It's about being deliberate, of knowing what we really got going on, It's like, what's the conceal and carry? I'm in Florida and I don't have a gun, but I'm in Florida with that. I don't even think I knew that term before, But like having this, knowing you have a lot of money in the bank, but dressing still how you want and not feeling like you gotta go all flashy, or knowing you have this skill, or knowing you have this platform, or knowing you have this ability, or like when my brother got out of the Marines, he, he's trained in combat and stuff, and he kind of had this little thing of like, oh, you don't even know what I could do, like that kind of thing. But he's just like regular guy. He's not walking around like what and like charging at people or trying to like fight everyone's battles either. He just like had his own, I know what I can do. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not making it weird at all, or too weird anyway. It's just like allow it to come out until your field, because when you hold that and I'm strong, I'm whole, I'm a Jersey girl, don't mess with me, like when you have that, you don't even have to tell people, you don't have to carry their problems, you don't have to let it be known, you don't have to talk about it all the time. It's just in your field, like you're aware, so other people kind of are too, it's kind of like confidence in a sense that way. So the intention here is just to allow it to kind of blend and bridge with these chakra points, these energy points, but allow it to be in your field, noticeable, here, more present for you to experience and for others. And we make it easier for other people to carry their strengths more easily, simply by us doing it. Just kind of guided to focus on the hands. I'm just going to hold my hands up here again, just so you can see. Like I'm taking your hands in mine and we're creating a loop. Have a little bowl, okay, and we're going to hit it 12 times to symbolize that 12 offerings, similar to what I talked about. And we'd like for you to reflect on the zodiac seasons you've been through. If you can't distinctly remember when it was or what you were doing, just acknowledge that you know you've collected something, that you've retrieved something, that you've experienced and gained development and movement through this cycle. Alright, so for Aries season 2019, late March, mid-April, Taurus season from April to May, Gemini, May to June, Cancer, from June to July, Leo, from July to August, Virgo, from August to September, Libra, from September to October, Scorpio, from October to November, Sagittarius, from November to December, Capricorn, from December to January, Aquarius, from January to February, and Pisces, from February to March. Did we get everybody? Focus on aligning with all that time, retrieving all those lessons, assimilating, utilizing, healing, releasing, reclaiming. Let it all fall back into you. Let it be your steps, pieces of your path. Let's just honor this time. And for the year ahead. Right. We hope you enjoyed our little chat and session today. Thank you so very much for letting me share a little piece of your path. I send you so much love So much gratitude. Thank you for a beautiful year together. Alright, let's fluff up our aura. I send you so much love and appreciation from the very, very, very bottom of my heart. I bow to the divine within you, within me, to the magic